Hello and welcome to a lyrical one-shot, Chasing Cars, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. I had this idea of using the lyrics of romantic songs but in the context of Miraculous. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hit that like button, comment down below if you have any recommendations. If you like this and you want me to try a different song, then tell me in the comments and subscribe for more. The golden sun was setting over the city of Paris as Ladybug and LadyNoir chased across the rooftops on patrol. Ladybug flung out her yo-yo and landed on the top platform of the Eiffel Tower first, followed by Chat. He could tell something was wrong. She seemed distracted. Without saying a word, she sat down on the metal platform, gripping onto the railings, and stared at the lights appearing on the horizon in front of them as Paris prepared for nightfall. What do you call it when a cat wins first place at a dog show? A cat has trophy? He wiggled his eyebrows, but she wasn't paying him any attention. What? Oh, good one, she said without looking at him. There is definitely something wrong. The laughter had disappeared from his voice and was replaced with concern. No, there isn't. It's fine. I'm fine. She shook her head from side to side, brushing away the comment. No, you're not. That was one of my worst cat jokes, and you didn't even roll an eye. I know when there is something wrong with my bugaboo, he said softly, perching down next to her on the platform and allowing his legs to dangle over the sides. She paused before answering. I'm just thinking. About what? I'm your partner, your friend, unburdened onto me. He placed his hand to his heart and gave his head a slight nod, smiling at her, hoping she would smile back. I'm worried. Hawkmoth is making moves against us and breaking up the team. I don't know what to do. She leant her head against his shoulder, leaning into his body. We'll do it all. Everything. On our own, Chat whispered. Yeah. We don't need anything or anyone, she said with a smile, wrapping her arms around his. Suddenly, Chat felt a tad flustered at her touch and took a deep breath. Let me ask you this. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? He lay back on the platform and stretched his arms out. Kitty, don't be silly. There it was, the eye roll he had been waiting for, but hadn't expected the flirtatious shove to the stomach. I'm not. I'm being serious. All we need is us. He caught her gaze as he pulled himself up to a seated position. He could see a light blush forming underneath her mask at his adoring expression. She broke the trance he held over her, angling her back from him. It's not that simple. I don't know how to say how I feel. He placed his hand on her shoulder to turn her around to face him, but she shrugged it off. She stood up and stepped over to the other side of the platform. Those 3 words, I said too much. He quietly mirrored her movements and whispered, "They're not enough." He guided her round to face him and saw her eyes were glistening with threatening tears. "If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?" Kitty, it's not that simple. Forget what we're told before we get too old. Yeah. She rolled her eyes and gestured to the streets below. "Show me a garden that's bursting into life." It was his turn to spin round and move away, frustrated with the natural barrier she placed up in front of him. "Then let's waste time chasing cars around our heads." He felt a hand on his shoulders, her forehead against the back of his head. In a voice he could barely hear, "Kitty, I'm sorry. I need your grace to remind me to find my own." Taking her by surprise, he moved to face her with an inch separating their lips. His hands gently gliding down her arms and rested in her hands. "You can't say something like that, milady. Tell me honestly, if I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?" "I can't. It's not that simple." She yanked her fingers out of his grip, fearful of the tears that were about to fall. "No. Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life." "Kitty, can't you see? All that I am, all that I ever was." She lowered her head and averted her gaze away from him. He stood up in front of her and lifted her head and brushed away the tear that had fallen. "Is here in your perfect eyes. They're all I see. I don't know where. Confused about how as well." He leaned his forehead against hers and breathed. "Just know that these things will never change for us at all. Kitty." Her voice broke as her hand reached up to his face, cupping them in hers. "Milady." He leaned closer, brushing his lips against hers. She closed the gap, and the all-consuming emotion of the moment exploded between them. Ladybug breathed. "If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?" "Always, my love." Jack wrapped his arms around her, absorbing her into his embrace and never letting go. thank you. That was the lyrical one shot of chasing cars. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just an idea that came into my head. Smash that like button if you did, and also send me your recommendations in your comments if you want me to do, if you can think of any other song lyrics. There's a couple that I'm gonna play around with, but yeah, I hope you liked it, and subscribe.